Howdy, everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Hello. How's it going? Welcome back. Thank you very much for shooting in, joining a fella here for another one, another live one, as a matter of fact. New West Reset Live, episode 148 today. Sunday, December the 7th, 2025. Just a wee bit past 5 p.m. local time, mountain time. And as per usual, coming at you live from Calgary, Alberta, up in Canada land, the foothills of the Canadian Rocky Mountains on this snowy, slightly chilly day. -5 Celsius, it's about 25-ish Fahrenheit. Could be worse. That's all I'm going to say about that. There's a lot of snow. I mean, not feet, not like 3 feet, not like a meter of snow or anything, but a few inches, a few centimeters, a number of centimeters. But, other than that, pretty good. Blue skies, sun shining. Happy to be here. Thank you very much for joining me. Good to see all of you. Thanks for winding down your weekend here with yours truly. We're going to be looking at stones or bones. Noah's fossil farm. This is sort of kind of a follow-up. A couple of weeks ago, I showed a photo of a weird stone or a weird rock that my pops found when he and I were out there deer tripping, getting the deer in your sights and using your boom boom sticks just to trip them. Anyway, just tripping them, and they fall down. He found this weird rock, and I showed a quick photo of it. And I thought, well, this is the perfect opportunity to share something else. This was forwarded by a friend of the channel, Edgar from Noah's Fossil Farm. A while back, I've been keeping this in my pocket for just the right timing. And after showing that weird rock, that strange stone, I thought the timing couldn't be better. So we're going to have a look at Noah's Fossil Farm today. He's got some strange rock formations found in and around Alberta here, with a couple of exceptions, a couple out there in Manitoba way. So thank you very much for joining me here. Thanks for winding down your weekend on the Sunday Fun Day Show. Woo! If you haven't already, please help a fella out by doing all the things here and down over here, just to help to push me out into the algo, and you know how the routine goes. Thanks to everyone who's already shared and subscribed. If you're watching this after the live, thank you very, very much. Again, links below for everything we're going to cover. And I would encourage all of you, as always, as per usual, to check this stuff out. Check it out. Check it out, eh, buddy? All right. Without further ado, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, in the box here. Let me know how you're doing, what's happening, how things are going. By the way, speaking of links below, all the links for how you can get a hold of a fella, BitChute, email, and of course, links for YouTube and Rumble, because for the Sunday Fun Day Show, always broadcasting live simultaneously on YouTube and that green fighting platform, the Bumble. Thank you very, very much for joining me here. Let's see who's here. Say howdy to everybody. Seen quite a few folks jumping in already. Kathy Broughton in the box. Howdy, Kathy. Good to see you. Speaking of winter and snow and whatnot, Kathy sent me a photo. There's snow down in Kentucky. What in the Samp Steel's going on? The Bluegrass State getting snow? I don't know. Pardon my Canadian naivete. But I wouldn't expect Kentucky to get a lot of snow. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but looks like you have almost as much as we have. Dragon Sage, how's she going there, eh, buddy? Good to see you. Duke Raoul in the box as well. Howdy, Duke. Hi, Jesse. Jesse Nix is here. Hello, hello. How's it going? Channel 53 in the box as well. And our old friend, Old World, Michigan. Good to see you. Meltological. Greetings. Howdy. Welcome. Morgan's here as well. Isabella live. Howdy, Morgan. Hippie Shake in the box. Howdy, Hippie. Good to see all of you. Happy Sunday to everybody. Or early Monday morning to some of you. Howdy, Martin, over on aforementioned Rumble. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Baja is here as well. Hello, hello there. Hope everybody's doing well and your weather is not too crazy. I mean, it's winter here, right? You got to expect snow and cold. And it hasn't got that cold really up here yet. Of course, I've jinxed it now that I've said that, but you know what I'm saying. Just a little bit of snow, and then it gets kind of slushy because the temperature will go above 0 Celsius during the day for a couple of days before it dips back down to, you know, like today, -5, maybe -10, -15 Celsius overnight. You know, it'll go from the mid to high 30s Fahrenheit to the low 20s Fahrenheit overnight. But during the day, that snow melts and it just gets all slushy and gross. That's about the, I mean, that's not super ultimate terrible to deal with. That's for sure. There's worse, you know, it's not -40 or anything. So, woo, of course, now that I've said that again, jinx headed my way. Great. That's fine. Anyways, as per usual, we're going to have a look at the topic at hand. Noah's Fossil Farm. We're going to be looking at stones or bones. Our buddy Edgar over there at Noah's Fossil Farm forwarded this my way a little while ago. He emailed me some links and some information, and I checked it out, and I thought, yeah, I got to save that. That'll be a great topic. And this goes nicely with, as mentioned a couple of weeks ago, when me and my daddy were out deer hunting. My dad stumbled upon weird looking stone. I'll pull it up for you here in a sec. And got me to thinking. And then I thought to myself, you know what? That's going to be a great topic for the show because there's some, let's just say Noah's Fossil Farm has some very unusual looking rocks or stones, or what we're told are rocks or stones. I don't know. We're going to have a look at them here, and we'll, in a second here, and we'll, you can decide for yourself. But before I get into that, this is what I'm talking about that my pops found just sitting there on the ground. Actually, we were in the 4x4, and he was kind of backing up to turn around, and he opened the door to kind of look down as he was backing up to make sure he wasn't going to run over a sharp stone or something and, you know, pierce a tire out there in the woods when it's cold. That ain't fun. So then, and he spotted this weird thing, picked it up, brushed the snow off of it. It's strange. It's very strange. It's got what looks like what we're told is regular rock or stone. I mean, and I held this thing, I knocked on it. It weighed about, I don't know, 5-6 pounds, but a bit bigger than a grapefruit. About the size of 3.5 avocados. I don't know what that means, but you get it. Hey, Ross is here from Water the Tree. Good to see you, Ross. Howdy. Speaking of snow, down there in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri's got some snow as well there, eh? But yeah, it looks weird, right? Alien stone, says Duke. Dinosaur egg, says Channel 53. It looks melted. It looks weird. There are parts here that look like they've bubbled a bit or something. I don't know. But this is a completely different type of stone. This is like a softer sandstone. You know what I'm saying? It almost looks like a mortar, but it's not a mortar. At least not that I could tell. I mean, I'm no rock hound, right? I'm not an expert. It just looked weird. This kind of strange protrusion here. But it's different stone encased in a larger rock or stone. Just very, very strange. So that's kind of what kicked off the whole thing. So as per usual, we'll get into this here in a second. Then what we'll do is we'll get into Noah's Fossil Farm. We'll have a look at the website and see what they're all about. Kind of poke around in there a little bit. Then we'll take a mid-show break. Give you a sneak peek at your upcoming mid-week vintage footage video. And then we'll come back and we'll have a look at some strange rock formations. Not even like rocks. Like this guy's finding rocks. Some of them huge boulders. I don't know what the cutoff is where you transition from a rock to a boulder. But that's Fred Flintstone stuff. That's his thing. I'm no expert. There's Mark from our Melted Reality. Good to see you, Mark. Says Frankie, stone looks suspicious. Yeah, it looks weird, right? Looks weird. Just very, very strange. All right, so let's open up the site here. This is newwestreset.com. Link below, as mentioned. Very, very interesting stuff. He's a local guy. Here's a local fella. So again, as mentioned, Noah's Fossil Farm website is in the links below. So it's got a nice website here. It's got interviews and stuff like that. I'll let you explore those on your own. But you can see about interesting rock formations. This does look like a bottlenose dolphin's head or some kind of dolphin. It's finding mammoth tusks and fish skeletons encased in rock and stone. But not just the skeletons, the fins, and you can see scales and so on. Crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. So let's just have a look at some what's going on here. This is the home page for newwestfossilfarm.com. So Noah's Fossil Farm, located in a park-like setting in Mulhurst Bay by Pigeon Lake, Alberta, presents a unique museum featuring fossils, minerals, and displays from around the world that will challenge your world view. So this is from Calgary, driving up to Edmonton on the highway number 2, going northbound, about 2/3 of the way to Edmonton. It's in between Red Deer and Edmonton. Red Deer, roughly the halfway point. We're looking at about 300, from Calgary to Edmonton, 300 kilometers or kilometers, 300 clicks-ish, give or take. So that's what, 140 miles? Something like that. Anyway, there's a deer. There's a deer for you. That's what Dad and I were trying to trip a couple of weeks ago when he found that weird rock I just showed you. So it's a great place to spend an hour or a day. Yeah, it is like a huge park, and then there is the museum as well. It's got a pond here with a waterfall and a fountain. It's nice. Got some Alberta wild rose here in the foreground. Our provincial flower. Lovely. Wonder what's going on with some of these big rocks. Well, you can bet Edgar probably checked them out before using them for his pot. Wait, let's make sure there's nothing weird inside these before I just chuck them over here around this pot. There's a moose. Oh, for sure, bud. You're going to get some mooses out there, eh? Some meese? Mooses? Moose. Modoc in the box. Good to see you, Modoc. Howdy, howdy. Thank you, Hippie. Yep, there's the link. Noah's Fossil Farm at noahsfossilfarm.com. What's this? Resident owl. It is I believe that's a great horned owl. So Noah's Ark and some of the many fossils, displayed from the flood in Noah's Fossil Farm Museum. You can see some fish encased in sandstone, a sandstone slab. We'll get into that momentarily. Tusk. Another fish. This is some kind of plant or maybe fin. You know, these usual things. What are those things called? I always forget what they're called. Tree stump, petrified tree stump that looks like rock. Yeah, we've seen that too. So sea fossils from the Green River shale beds. You can find out about all the buried forests and tropical life found around the Arctic Circle, a testament to Noah's flood. Devil's Tower, Wyoming. Devil's Tower, Utah, is 825 feet tall. Find out if pre-flood trees really grew this tall. So these are all links that take you to videos on Rumble. So I'd encourage you to check those out as well. Very interesting stuff. And I'm not here to say I agree with everything. And I'm not here to poke any holes in any of this. I'm just here to explore. Edgar, was kind enough. Edgar from Noah's Fossil Farm was kind enough to send these my way and said, hey, check this out. And I thought it would be very, very interesting for us to dive into because some of these rocks and stones and boulders are incredibly strange looking. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but we've seen already a little bit of a sample. The story behind the fossil fish discovered by Noah's Fossil Farm. I'm actually going to read you from this here. So it says, if you dig deep enough anywhere in Alberta, you will likely find fossils. Yeah, that's the big story here. Aside from the cowboys and, you know, them wild primitive Indians and the buffalo, was, of course, the dead dinosaurs all over the place. And that's what made the oil that they discovered here in the 1920s and 30s. Anyway, so while excavating a basement for a new home in the Evanston area of Calgary, hey, that's where I am right now, Calgary, Edgar Nunberg, a heavy equipment operator for Keystone Excavating, noticed something special in the bucket of his track hoe. Black outlines of 5 fishes. Really? Is that plural for fish? Fishes? I always thought it's 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. I thought the plural for fish was fish. Like the plural for moose is moose. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. Anyways, realizing this was a significant find, he contacted paleontologist Dr. Darla Zelenitsky at the University of Calgary. Well, that was your first mistake, Edgar. I'm sorry. Never contact a paleontologist. They'll take it away from you. Then you'll have to fight to get it back. My dad has found a lot of weird-looking rocks and stones in his day, and he learned his lesson. First time he found a stone that looked like it had a partial human footprint embedded in the stone. I took it to the museum and actually contacted the museum, and they're like, yeah, bring it in, Mr. Frankie's dad, and we'll have a look at it. and it took him like 5 years to get it back. Anyway, so he contacted this paleontologist who was surprised to find such an exceptionally preserved fish. Complete fossils are relatively rare from this time period in Alberta. But it says right here, if you dig deep enough anywhere in Alberta, you're going to find fossils. And now you're saying they're rare. Anyways, these specimens allow scientists to learn more about what the ecosystem was like following the end of the Cretaceous extinction 66 million years ago, people. How do they know? Well, they could tell by the fish and that it's in this rock, I guess. Anyways, these five, I'm not going to say how they're saying the plural of fish, because I think that's wrong. These five fish were once swimming in the ancient rivers flowing where Calgary is located now. That's right. I've touched on that briefly here on the channel before, not only on the live show on Sundays, but on my Friday Boots in the Ground videos occasionally, and on the Knucklehead show, I believe, with Chris from Old World Exploration. Where Calgary is in a river valley and still is. But the river flows through the city now, but the city's built in a much larger, more ancient, wider, deeper riverbed. And I think the event of 1700, which I explore in my documentary Reset 1700, caused the wiping out of many pre-existing towns and cities just after, and sort of in the aftermath of the 1700 event. And it caused a chain reaction and a lot of fires and floods and the twisting of the land and mud flooding. Not the mud flood, but a more localized cataclysm. So the river today that flows through the city of Calgary here is maybe a tenth of the size of what it used to be. Anyways, so the story behind the fossil fish discovery, some additional information here. Alberta creationist Eric Nernberg digs up what scientists are calling the most important fossil find in decades. The Lord walks in mysterious ways and apparently has a pretty ironic sense of humor too. You have to smile when the greatest fossil discovery in recent Calgary history comes at the end of a backhoe operated by a man known as the greatest promoter of creationism in Alberta. His name is Edgar Nernberg. And when he's not sitting on the board of directors of Big Valley's Creationist Museum or actively lobbying for the inclusion of creationism in Alberta school curriculum, Nernberg operates a backhoe in Calgary. Yeah, his argument for this, including creationism in schools, is if you're going to include Darwinism, then you should also include creationism. And it's a fair argument, in my personal opinion. It was in the seat of that machine that Nernberg made the discovery being hailed by scientists in Alberta as one of the most important fossil finds in decades, helping to solve an evolutionary puzzle dating back 60 million years. I thought they said 66 million. It's, 60 million, give or take 6 million. When you're dealing in tens of millions, what's, a few million here or there, I guess. Yeah, the Bow River. That's right. Pinkster in the box. Yes, the Bow River here in Calgary and Purdy, Alberta. Anyways, not that Nernberg is buying that date for a second. Yeah. Join the club there, my friend. To him, the 5 perfectly preserved fossil fish found while excavating a basement in northwest Calgary Just more proof of a world created by God only a few thousand years ago. So yeah, there you go. And again, there's some links here. You click on these and it takes you to various video uploads on the Rumble channel for Noah's Fossil Farm. So I would encourage you to definitely to check that out. Let's have a look at this crocodile's head. Yeah, could be. Looks like crocodile's head. Let's see here. Researching Noah's flood. The ark landed in the mountains of Ararat, according to Genesis. Yeah, I've heard that. Armenia was, but I think, taken over by Turkey. The rainbow is God's covenant, a sign with man to never flood the, whoa, slow down. Flood the earth again. Yeah, that symbol's been co-opted and twisted, hasn't it? So here's 5 fossil fish discovered by Noah's Fossil Farm. He's now displayed in the Royal Tyrrell Museum in Drumheller, with a replica in Noah's Farm. So Noah's Fossil Farm finds it, and they call the paleontologist, hey, come and look at this. And then, of course, now it's in the paleontological museum in Drumheller. There's a mammoth tusk from Yukon territories. That's pretty cool. And then that crocodile head. I'm telling you, man, it looks like a beautiful, serene place, even just to hang out for the day, have a picnic. Who knows? Maybe you'll see a deer or a moose or an owl. What's going on with these 2 fish? They weren't caught in the act of copulating, shall we say, while whatever happened, did it? Look at how preserved these are. And what in the Sam Steele is this thing? I mean, this I think anybody could spot. I mean, a child, a 2-year-old child, my great niece, who's not even 2 yet, would spot that and she would know that's a fish. Whether she would call it a fish or a fishy, you know. But I mean, that's, and this, I don't even know, some kind of invertebrate, we're told, some kind of crazy looking jellyfish. All right, fine, I don't know. But you can even see where the eye was in the, and why are these fish upside down? Something turbulent happened, and then they were encased in this softer, what we're told is sandstone. And to be honest, it does look like sandstone. There's tons of sandstone around here in Calgary. Hell, they build buildings out of them, supposedly back in the day, for crying out loud. Definitely looking like a tree stump here for sure. Can I click on that? Petrified tree from Edson. There we go. Even could see where it could be remnants of bark or the inner bark. I mean, that definitely looks like a tree stump to me. You know, or it kind of comes down like this, or, you know, it would start to form a tree root. I'm not saying it absolutely is, but it certainly looks like it. They're calling it a petrified tree stump. So, now, but they're saying that this is going to take millions or tens of millions of years to occur. And well, Noah's Fossil Farm, their argument is no, probably more like biblical time periods. This is petrified wood from Arizona. You can see the rings. You know, this is a top-down bird's eye view of a section cut at the top of a log, if you will. Seashells, potash mine in Saskatchewan. All right. Favorite province in Canada land to say. Say it with me now. Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. 2,800 feet below ground, they found this thing. Seashells. Saskatchewan is a landlocked province, by the way. There's no sea. The Hudson's Bay is hundreds and hundreds of miles away, or kilometers away. Very interesting. What's this thing? Ammonite from Morocco. Yeah, look at that. That's cool. I mean, wouldn't you just say that's a snail? It's a snail, man. There's those fish from Green River, Wyoming. Look, they look like stickers. Looks like they're stuck on there. A palm. Oh, a palm leaf. Palm found in Calgary, Alberta. Yeah, we're way too dry. And yeah, very much too inclement to support palm trees in current times here in Purdy, Alberta, here in Calgary, Alberta. As much as I love it, we're kind of foothills with close to the desert, and the Rocky Mountains are real close. It gets hot and dry in the summer, and it gets cold and windy in the wintertime. It's not conducive to palm trees. So under 30 feet of muck found this mammoth tusk. Yeah, they're finding whole mammoths in Yukon and Alaska. At first, they were finding frozen bits of, meat on the bone, flesh on the meat, and hair on the flesh. Mammoth bones. Mammoth parts, excuse me. But then they were finding some that weren't even frozen. They were just encased deep in a muddy hill. Still had food in their stomach and stuff. Crazy. Here's a sum of what we're going to be looking at here in the second half of the show after the break. You can tell how big that is. He's got it strapped in, and he's got a hoist here on the back of a half-ton pickup truck. There's the Alberta license plate right there. That's how I know. So this is big. This is a big skull or head-looking thing. Not even sure what this is, but it looks crazy, man. And again, it's huge. That he's got to hoist it in with a strap. It almost looks like a twisted face, like the lower jaw, the lower mandible here. Some teeth, maybe. Nose socket, couple of eye sockets. I don't know what's going on with this. It could be an ear, but where's the other one? I don't know. Could just be some kind of weird thing. It's crazy looking. Mr. Infinity in the box. Mr. Infinite, excuse me, saying instant petrification caused by plasma, in my opinion. Yeah, it could be some kind of plasma or electromagnetic plasma discharge. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, a giant's head for sure. Not this one, the other one, yeah. I mean, it looks like a giant's head. Get zapped, turn to stone. Yeah, I hear you. Could be. Kind of looks like a monkey head. Monkey head. Yeah, maybe. Like a chimpanzee or a reptilian monkey. Very, very odd, right? A lot of them do just look like melted blobs. Yeah, like who knows what. But some of them definitely have, what's that term where you see what you want to see? Can't remember what it's called. It's not necessarily what we're seeing here. I mean, these are definitely fish encased in stone. And it's not even just the skeleton. Again, you can see the scales, the fins. This didn't happen over 66 million years. Come on. This looks like it could have been blasted with some kind of plasma or some kind of electric, like, the electricity causes heat, obviously. So, I mean, something like that. Again, I'm no expert. I'm just saying that's what it looks like to me. And again, this is just a small sample of some of the photos here. Thank you. That's it. Pareidolia. Pareidolia. Thank you. Thank you. Lot's wife. Pillar of salt. Yeah, right. She looked at it and she got instantly petrified. That's a term we use when you're scared stiff too, right? You're petrified. You become petrified. I'm a bit of a fisherman. I'll do me a little bit of freshwater river angling. I mean, I'm not really going out in a boat, not much anymore. Used to go out in a canoe maybe once in a while, do some fishing in the lake, but there's a river like 100 yards from me. And this doesn't look like any, I mean, maybe a perch, but a perch is a lake fish. So I don't even know. You can still see some of the internal workings on it. Again, it's not just the bones, it's the fins, some of the scales, and then what looks like some of the internal stuff. Some of the organs or what? Trilobites, that's it. I'm not going to lie, these are kind of nightmare fuel to a guy. I'm just saying, they're a little bit nightmare fuelish to me. Ammonite, yeah, again, we've talked about this one. I mean, that's just, I guess they're modern ones, right? And they kind of have like a cuttlefish-like tentacles and means of propulsion. Anyway, very, very fascinating stuff. Again, this is just a taste. Noah's Fossil Farm. Just a little bit from the photo gallery here. And again, it's a bunch of links. Suggest you check it out when you get a chance. You can view the sun with solar filtered binoculars over there on the farm museum. You can see the moon and stars up close with an 18-inch Dodsonian telescope. That's pretty cool. And then you can view microscopic life under a high-powered microscope as well. Electron microscope. Grubs. Yeah, kind of like big, giant grubs. Yeah. Those trilobite things, right? That's what you're talking about? These things. Kind of, sort of. Grubs I can handle. These things, just saying. Looks like something that would Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock would have to shoot with their phasers. You know what I'm saying? We get it before it gets us. Just nightmare fuel. That's all I'm saying. Ugh. Where are we at here? Well, coming up on 45 minutes to the hour. Thank you once again for joining me here. Frankie, New West Reset and New West Reset Live, episode 148. Looking at stuff that, is it stones or is it bones? A little bit of something that friend of the channel here, Edgar, over at Noah's Fossil Farm, forwarded my way. And as mentioned earlier, this kind of goes back to something my daddy found when we were out deer tripping a couple of weeks back. He found a weird rock, weird stone, a bit bigger than a grapefruit. Let me just pull that up for you real quick again so you can have a peekaboo of what I'm talking about. I guess it was about 3 weeks ago now. Or was it 2 weeks ago? Anyway, Pops found this thing. It's weird. It's like one kind of rock with a bunch of other kinds of rock encased in it. And it definitely has some kind of weird texture. Almost like bubbles. Almost like it's bubbled. These almost look like bubbles have popped. almost like craters, right? Like there's a ring, so it formed a bubble, and then that bubble, boop, popped. Again, I'm just saying what it looks like to me. But this is definitely a weird looking stone or rock. Not even sure what's going on with this. Almost looks like paint or something. Why that would be on some rock out on some forestry service cut line road through the woods, about 1.5 miles, 2 miles off the main road, which is a gravel road out in the sticks in the middle of nowhere. I don't know, but definitely a weird looking. It kind of does look a little bit like the moon when you get up close. Yeah, some of this stuff right here. Like if I switch this to a black and white and gray filter, and I said, that's a newly found photo of the surface of the moon, the normies would be like, cool. Here's one of the landing site of the Apollo 15 mission. No, it's just some rock found near Water Valley and Sundry area of Alberta. Very weird. But yeah, very strange. So yeah, that's what kicks this whole thing off. Very captivating looking stone. So with that, I think I'm going to take a quick break here. The show, give you a sneak peek to your upcoming midweek. If you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Thank you very, very much for joining up here with all of the fun that we have, which is, basically
shenanigans.
It's basically what's going on around here. But I appreciate you. Thank you very much. If you've been around for a while, as a quick reminder, every Wednesday, I upload what I call vintage footage video, old-time video set to music. I try to keep it Canadian, but sometimes I can't help myself if it's pretty eye-popping. I put that up every Wednesday, vintage footage on the channel. Friday, boots on the ground, and Sunday, the live show. And every Sunday, I give you a sneak peek at aforementioned vintage footage video. This one is no different. What have we got going on here? This is France. This is pretty Paris. Pretty old Paris, France, 1920s. This is roughly just shy of 5 minutes. Just shy 5 minutes. So thank you very much for joining me here. Just going to take a quick 4 3/4 minute break. I'll see you on the other side. Stick around. Be right back. All right. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Je peux vous le rendre, Seigneur, Seigneur, car avec les soldats, oui, les toreros peuvent s'entendre. Pour plaisir, ils ont les combats. Le cirque est plein ce jour de fête, le cirque est plein d'Iotomba. Le spectateur est dans la tête, le spectateur s'est en peur après fracas. Apostrophe, tu sais ta page, pour c'est jusqu'à ce l'empereur. car c'est la fête du courage, c'est la fête des chiens de guerre. Allons, en garde, allons, allons, toréador, en garde, toréador, toréador. Et songe bien, oui, songe combattant, que le noir te regarde, et que l'amour t'attend, toréador, l'amour t'attend. On fait silence, à quoi se passe-t-il? Plus de cristallisant, le taureau se lance en bandissant auditorie. Il s'élance, il entre et frappe, en chevelure, entraînant en pique d'or. Ah, bravo taureau! Il vient, et frappe encore, en secouant ses banderilles, plein de fureur il coule, le cirque est plein de sang, en s'essouffle, on franchit le cri, c'est honteux maintenant. Allons, en garde, allons, allons, toréador, en garde, toréador, toréador. Et songe bien, oui, songe combattant, que le noir te regarde, et que l'amour t'attend, toréador, l'amour t'attend, toréador, toréador, l'amour t'attend.
All right, and we are back. Welcome back. Howdy, everyone. Frankie here, New West Reset. Thank you very much for shooting in, joining a fella here for another live one. New West Reset Live, episode 148. Here today, we're looking at Sticks or Bones, Noah's Fossil Farm here on the show. Links below for everything. Thank you very much for shooting in and joining me here. Just shy of 6 p.m. local time, mountain time, coming at you from Purdy, Alberta, the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, that is, Calgary, Alberta, up in Canada land there, eh, buddy? Thank you very much for joining me. If you haven't already, please do all the things. If you already have, thank you very much. Good to see all of you here. Thanks for winding down your weekend on the Sunday Fun Day show. So the top half of the show, we were checking out a little bit just on the homepage from newwestreset.com. Again, links below. Links below for how you can get a hold of a fella as well. BitChute, email, and of course, YouTube and Rumble. Live simultaneously on YouTube and Rumble. So welcome to everybody. Good to see all of you here. Thanks for joining me. Pastor of Castles is here. Morgan over at Isabella Live is in the box as well. Ross, Water the Tree. Good to see you there. How you doing there, buddy? Howdy, Kathy. Kathy Broughton. Down in Kentucky. Howdy, Sage. Dragon Sage over in Ontario, yo. Good to see you. Mr. Infinite in the box. Yeah, that old footage. I think we have been robbed. We have been robbed for sure. Kimosabe is here as well. Very stoked about the topic of the stream. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying it so far. We're going to have a look at some other photos of stuff that Edgar from Noah's Fossil Farm sent my way. Good to see all of you. Thanks for winding down your weekend here. So that's just following. There's, yeah, there it is. Pasture of Castles asking, how many flat earthers in here? Mr. Infinite I, Kathy Broughton here. Pinkster, oi. Boss, I'm not convinced, but not impossible either. Yeah, that's kind of how I am. I'm kind of, to be completely open and honest, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I know that all the images that we see of Earth as a globe taken from space is a bunch of BS. I mean, I look at it and it's,
I don't believe you.
You know what I mean? I mean, that just says it all right there. So I'm kind of open to, well, I'm open to any theory that makes sense, but I'm also open to, there's Cousin Vinny and I talk about this a lot, and I kind of dig what he's laid down, which is an expanding hollow Earth where the Earth is slowly expand, no matter what shape, whether it's a sphere, whether it's a disc or a ball, you know what I'm saying? But it's expanding. I don't think we're spinning in space, flying through at a bazillion miles an hour. Otherwise, through entire recorded time, you know, the constellations would change, and you wouldn't be able to predict certain constellations or other heavenly bodies rising at a certain point on the horizon at certain times of the year. You wouldn't be able to predict it after a while, because we would have moved past those being in our visible spectrum if we're flying through the, you know what I'm saying? But there are hollow spaces below the ground, some lined with brick, some not. Some we're told are just naturally occurring fissures or lava. What are those things called? Lava cones. Or when it cools, it's like a tunnel-shaped long bubble that it pops, again, like that photo earlier, right? Where it pops and it creates a long hollow cavity like a tunnel. And there are purposely built underground cities. I mean, towns, cities, dwellings. We've seen this. So, but you could see how it does look like fissures open up. I mean, we see it on news reports. There was one fairly recently over in, I think it was in Turkey, if I'm not mistaken. Just all of a sudden, a narrow crack in the ground turned into a massive, I think 100-foot, I mean, I don't know the details of the numbers, but a massive fissure, like 40 feet deep and 100 feet wide, right in the middle through like an olive grove or something crazy like that. So, you know. Hula hula in the bar. Yeah, lava tube. That's the one. Yeah. So anyway, that's but yeah, I don't think we're flying through the cosmos at breakneck speeds. You know, but yeah, there's a bunch of, I mean, we see the evidence of they call it plate tectonics. Well, okay. call it what you want to call it, but I mean, I've seen stuff, not in person. I've never seen, a small fissure turn into a massive fissure in the matter of a few minutes. But we see earthquakes all the time. And we say, oh, it's these plates rubbing, but what if it's just like the realm expanding? Again, no matter how you see the realm in terms of its shape, whether it's a ball or a pancake, at the end of the day, I don't really care. That makes looking into the truth almost seem insurmountable, right? Because it's a snake eating its own tail with the argument on both sides of that. So I'm pretty open to it. But for sure, I mean, it's not like satellites took those pictures of the ball Earth from space and because NASA said so. Get out of here with that. That's just complete and utter nonsense.
Well, that's just silly.
Silly, yes. Idiotic, yes.
Same as the whole moon thing. Yeah, we went to the moon. We sent a bunch of guys in tin cans up to the moon, and they landed on it and walked around. Eventually, they took a dune buggy up there because flying to the moon isn't amazing enough. Now we got to get there, and we're just gonna like drive around like we're on the set of George Lucas's American Graffiti meets 2001: A Space Odyssey. So, I mean, there's some things. When I was a kid, I was really into the whole moon thing, the Apollo and Gemini and Mercury missions and all that. I'd pop up books and build model kits of the lunar modules and all that stuff. But yeah, no. I was 8 years old, Hindsight's kind of 2020. Anyways, let's see what else is going on here over at Noah's Fossil Farm. Because just get it opened up here. And again, thank you to Edgar for forwarding this. It's very, very fascinating stuff. I'm super happy to share this. I hope you're enjoying it because it's very, very interesting. And again, no matter what side of the fence you're on when it comes to all of this stuff, either way, it's just fascinating and interesting. And for me, most especially because this is all Alberta. I mean, it's fairly local. It's, some, in that south to north corridor between Calgary and Edmonton. Odin's Raven in the box. Yeah, well, that's the thing is there's been measurements taken. It didn't fit. Even actually fully geared up, apparently even the astronauts don't fit. Or they don't fit through the hatch or something. So anyways, this is a 20-inch high giant head found in a farmer's field in Alberta, Canada. So we figure it would have been between 20 and 30 feet tall, judging from, the size of it. I don't think it's 20 inches tall. I think it's 20 inches across. Either way, it's big. There's a pickup truck in the background, man. Here it is from another angle. I mean, it does look like a giant head. There's a photo on the interwebs here of one from the U.S. that they found in the 1920s. I'm not sure where in the U.S., but does it really matter? Another giant's head with brain structure found in the same farmer's field. So, of course, he's going to include some photos for comparison. But you can see this one's quite good here, where you can see this type of material in here, a little bit of it in here. And it looks like right and left hemispheres here. Either way, if you're interested in rocks or stones at all, this is fascinating. Even if you were to swallow hook, line, and sinker the official narrative of how these are formed over tens of millions of years, pressure and heat combined to have all of these different minerals coalesce into these rocks and stones, and because they're made of different materials, they have different densities and chemical compositions, and therefore when it resolidifies, it takes on different physical characteristics. But your eyes are lying to you. This is another photo of this thing. Yeah, head of what? A dog, a reptilian, a manatee, ostrich, snake. It still looks kind of monkeyish, yeah. Like chimpanzee lizard? I don't know. This looking like a lizard. Like here, it's, at least to me, the eye here. And this is the tip of the snout, or whatever you would call it. There's the other eye, the space between the eyes, the forehead, the sort of the bump over each eye, like you would see with lizards or reptiles in general. The mouth coming along here, and then kind of curling up, and then almost the hint of like maybe an inner ear opening, like they have. Obviously, a lizard isn't going to have an outer ear with an earlobe, right? It's just going to have a hole for the ear. But I could see how this would definitely look like a reptile's head. Not even a skull, but the head, like with flesh and everything. It's all textured and whatnot. This too almost looking reptile-ish, like the mouth, the eyes, but the teeth are wrong. So some other weird creature. I don't know. Very strange. I don't even know what to think with this. What do we have here? What is this? Very, very odd. Now, these that we're looking at, they are at Noah's Fossil Farm Museum, just near Pigeon Lake, Alberta, not far from Red Deer. This looks like just a hunk of sandstone. It's kind of got a bullet-like shape almost. But it does have a couple of strange inclusions, or an inclusion here and one that's fallen out. Seeing two eyes visible here. Maybe, I don't know. Giant's humerus arm bone, found in the same field as the giant's head. Okay, so the top of the arm. This bone here, maybe. Okay. I don't know what a distal limb is, but almost looks like a vertebrae, except for it would have a hole in the middle. And they often have sort of wing, for lack of a better term, wing-like parts of the bone sticking out. This is strange looking too. This is how they found it. Or are these two different ones? Oh, these are two different ones. So somebody's painted a face on this one. Some jackass has come along and said, hey, look at this weird looking rock. And they just painted a face on it. But it really does look like the ball of a ball and socket hip joint. Or maybe even a shoulder. This is very strange down here too, where it's broken or chipped away. Very odd. Gives you a little bit of the, quoting the Genesis here, chapter 6, comes to giants. Don't really need to get into all that. I'm sure many of us are familiar with the good book, but dolphins found in Alberta. Oh, yeah, we saw one or two of these. The jackass of the sea, the dolphin. This isn't a dolphin. This is a beluga whale, I think, but close enough. It's related to the dolphin. But this definitely looks like a dolphin. So does that. Some of them look like heads, and some of them look like melted blobs. So we could be looking at two different things here. It's very strange looking. Turtle. So there's a petrified prehistoric turtle. And then these are some rocks that look like a turtle. I'm not sure about this. It doesn't look very turtle-like to me. It does look freaking weird, though, with 1, 2, 3. It's like an upside-down snowman, with a bigger ball, medium ball, and small ball on top. So, I mean, it's very strange because you have this big, again, I'm just going to call it a boulder. And then you've got these smaller, I mean, it's just strange. There's another petrified turtle found near Drumheller, I'm guessing, or somewhere in the Badlands, somewhere in the cooked out, fried out area of Alberta that kind of shoots diagonally across the province. Crocodile. Looks crocodile-ish. This one definitely looks crocodile-ish. Come on, man. That looks crocodile-ish for sure. More than the other one. This one, I don't know. Looks like a melted blob. But that. Oh, these are the most frightening bird ever put on the good Lord's earth. My goodness, look at this thing. Talk about nightmare fuel. Imagine that coming at you. The dodo bird's pretty pug ugly in its own right, but this thing is just horrifying, isn't it? The shoebill? Yikes. Yikes. That's all I gotta say. Wiley Metz in the box. I bet you've seen some weird rocks in your neck of the woods there, Wiley. Good to see you, bud. I mean, they could have been related for sure. And there's a lot of weird looking birds, but I mean, this thing definitely looks more shoebill than dodo. These, I don't know, not 100% convinced on these. I think yeah, they're shaped kind of like a duck's head. Okay. But still fascinating that there's so many of them that have this similar, if not almost identical shape. Like, what causes a rock in nature to be shaped this way? You'd think with erosion and heat and time and everything that say, and especially if it's a stone that's exposed to moving water, it gets smoothed out. So you think eventually everything would be a sphere. All things being equal over time and all yada yada, everything would eventually be tumbled into a sphere. I mean, that's their explanation for why all the planets in the outer spaces are all balls flying around, spinning in space. It's because eventually everything collects and coalesces because of the gravities and the mass and the whatnots, and because it's moving and then the spinning and the whatnots, and it eventually gets smoothed down to it's a ball with not too many lumpy edges. So how you end up with elongated rocks, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they would say maybe it's erosion and the water's flowing this way, so there's more wearing away of the surface. But, I mean, I don't know. Calling this a whale flipper bone? I don't know. To me, that looks like a giant walnut. And I ain't even joking. To me, that looks like a giant walnut. The walnut the size of a footstool. I mean, am I nuts, or is this, pardon the pun, but, or am I, sorry, I cracked myself up with that one.
I wet my jockeys here.
All right, enough screwing around. That joke was just for me, but am I nuts, or does that look like a giant walnut? Whale vertebrae. Yeah, see, there's that sort of winged portion. Kind of sticks out. This one's pretty amazing. Is this a whale lung laviole? I mean, looks very, very strange to me. And again, these are at Noah's Fossil Farm. I mean, what caused this? Again, even if you were just to swallow hook, line, and sinker, the scientist guy, the guy in the lab coat with the clipboard, that guy, what he's going to tell you this is, even by that explanation, it's still weird. It's a weird looking thing, this object, this rock or stone. It almost looks like this one almost looks like it's twisted. Like that twisted Polish Easter bread. I don't know what it's called. During Easter time, the Polacks, the Poles, they like to have that bread. That Polak Easter bread.
That's racist!
I'm sorry, but you know what I mean. It's just unusual looking. It almost looks like a bunch of grapes, like giant grapes. I've heard ancient tales of ancient travelers going to forgotten lands and giants living there, and all of the fruit and vegetables and everything were huge. And it took two guys to carry one bunch of grapes. It kind of looks like that too. Are these hearts? And again, there's a link in the Stelium here for video as well. Again, some of these are just interesting shaped stones, but other ones, this almost could be more like a kidney, but these are just, again, general odd shaped stones, like a teardrop shaped stone. How does that happen? Mr. Scientist Man, Mr. Geologist Guy, can you please tell me how this happens in nature? Did something get so hot that rock, or what we're told is rock or stone, dripped, and this is a solidified molten stone drop, like a raindrop? I don't know. It looks crazy to me, though. Look at this. It's a little damaged or cracked, but it's a rock sphere. And this guy's finding stuff like this in farmers' fields and out doing construction, operating his excavator. But there's his pocket knife there. You can assume that, well, for Canada land to carry around this kind of blade with you, it's got to be less than 6 inches. So the handle's probably 5 inches to accommodate a 5-inch blade. So this is what, 10 inches across. It's a bloody big, perfectly spherical boulder is what it is. Like, how do these happen? How does this happen? Just, yeah, that braided Easter bread. That's right. Can't remember what it's called. A babka? No, that's some other thing. Look at this. What is happening here? What in a Sam Steel are we looking at here? What is this? Like, is that just weird or like, I don't even know. Don't even know. It's fascinating though. Here's that braided bread again. But then look at where it's busted away here too. It's very, sorry, I can't zoom in on it, but it almost looks like fan-like fiber, or like underneath the top of a mushroom. It's got those fibrous, you know what I'm saying. Even this is weird shaped. I mean, all of these are weird shaped. This guy just randomly digs this stuff up, working on it. I'm gonna build you a new porch. Like, you got hired here to build this guy a new porch because this porch is garbage or whatever, right? So he's excavating and he's got his backhoe in there and he's gonna excavate down a bit and maybe, pour some footings and what have you. And he finds this kind of crap. And you're like, are you kidding me? Or working on a basement or whatever. Like, what happened to this? What's going on with this thing? What the, what's this, a rhino horn or something? Like, I'm just asking.
No questions, damn it. No questions.
You're right. Sorry. Let's move on. It's like the top of a bowling pin, man. This almost looks like carved wood, but it's stone. Maybe it was chipped away and stood upright as a marker. Like, there's a door here. Like your average residential door. So you can tell this thing's big. There's a faucet out here. What's going on? Yeah, there's an external faucet, water faucet. So this gives you an idea of how big this is. Let's say it's 3.5 feet tall, right? 1.5 meters-ish. It's big, man. Goofy. Anyway, we've got one more link here to have a look at. Again, this is, if you go on to Noah's Fossil Farm to the home page, next to where it says home, well, rather than explain it to, why don't I just show you, for pity's sake? See on top here, it says home, and then more, and it brings you to some of these photo galleries. And then often there's a video associated with it, either for YouTube or for Rumble. So I would encourage you to check those out as well. So this is a 5.5 foot long, I'm guessing, 5,500 pound heart of a Titan is what he's labeled this as. Certainly looks heart shaped. Not, St. Valentine's Day greeting card heart shaped. Heart emoji, but no, like an actual heart. Top of the Titan heart with 2 entry points of the arteries. Definitely see some indentations in there or something. It's weird looking. But again, just when you look at the surface of this thing, it looks blasted or melted, or you know what I mean? It's like there was a layer smeared over this layer and it's bubbled and started to melt away or scorch, like fried cheese. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it does kind of look like a big heart, though, a big Titan heart. I don't know. It's huge. There's dandelion bush. There's the front stoop of this place. And the door, so it's big. I mean, that's pretty strange looking. Kimosabe in the boxing. That's a giant stone heart, 100%. Mr. Infinite saying, yep, looks like, I mean, it looks like that to me. A giant or a titan, like bigger than a giant, right? A titan, excuse me. You know? Robert's in the box. Robert Ayako, good to see you. Buongiorno, Roberto. Come stai? Oh, siren in the background. It's warm enough to have the window open just a crack. And wouldn't be a live show without some sirens going off in the back. Again, these links will take you to some videos that kind of expand on all of this, or where they were found, or whatnot. There's that one that kind of looked kidney-ish, but it kind of does look heartish as well. But I would call this more kidney for me, just looking at it. Again, I'm not here to argue or nothing. I'm just saying telling you what I see. This was found in an Alberta gravel pit. Where was this found? This was found somewhere in Alberta. The Titan heart. Blood red hearts of granite. 20-inch heart of blood red granite found on a construction site in the south end of Edmonton, Alberta, the capital city. Look at that thing. Just a giant big hunk of what we're told. Well, that's granite. That's why it's red like that. There's a nice close-up shot of the texture of it. It's got a label here. The entry of one of the arteries of the heart above is clearly visible. It's 2 inches in diameter. I don't know if he's talking about this. It's got to be talking about that. Sure. Does look like a hole. You're saying this is a second artery entry point. It's 2 inches. There are 2 more artery entry points on the heart, but not as clearly visible as these 2. I'm guessing this circular indentation, maybe. Well, there we go. Montana. Found it in a Montana gravel pit. Certainly heart-shaped. I mean, it does look like, I mean, excuse me for being blunt. It does look like a hunk of flesh. It looks like muscly flesh almost. It's the opposite side of it. And again, it is kind of heart-shaped, you know. Could be woolly mammoth heart. Could be, yeah, some kind of, you know, what we're told is ancient megafauna. Right? The cave bear, the woolly mammoth, the woolly rhino that used to be up here. The giant beaver, the giant sloth. There was giant everything. Could you imagine if there was a giant Canada goose? Oh, Oh, come on, man. Heart found in a parking lot in Brandon, Manitoba, just outside Winnipeg. Obviously not a tight one because there's an American dime, a 10-cent piece, or a Canadian 10-cent piece. Same size as an American dime. Found in a Legion parking lot. Oh, the Canadian Legion. That's our sort of our VA, our Veterans Association up here in Canada land is the Canadian Legion. Look at this one. Come on, man. If this thing started pulsating, would you be surprised at all? Yeah, could you imagine giant murder turkeys? Eh? Cobra chickens everywhere. 14-foot tall Canadian murder turkeys coming at you. Look out for the Canada goose now. It'll get you. And then you turn around and it's twice as tall as you are. Oh, that would be terrible. The man bear pig. Well, this could be, what we call Sasquatch, Bigfoot as well, right? I side with our Indigenous First Nations peoples up here in Canada land that Sasquatch, commonly known as Sasquatch up here in Canada, Bigfoot in the US, is a real thing. There's not just a couple of nations or tribes or bands that have it in their lore. There are literally hundreds across North America that speak of Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Heck, his images put on totem poles and in other native art, such as pottery paintings and beadwork, alongside other existing creatures, like, and important ones too, like beavers and bears and bison, wolves, different birds, especially a raven and especially eagles. If you're going to bother carving a totem pole that has a bear, a beaver, and I don't know, maybe a salmon on it, and then a Bigfoot, you can't just say, well, all these are real except the Bigfoot. I'm sorry. I think our Indigenous brothers and sisters are onto something with that. So I think some of this could be attributed to perhaps something like that too. Or again, megafauna of some kind. Look at this one. This too. I mean, a lot of these do kind of like this. Okay, yeah, it's maybe it's just a rock, man, perhaps. But there's a couple, like these are, when it looks like it's got fatty tissue and muscle tissue in it. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you were to put sort of a deep reddish, almost brown red filter over this photo and said, yeah, there's a heart for it, people would be like, ew, gross. Why are you putting that up on the interwebs? Just a picture of a heart like that? That's gross. Ew. But no, it's a rock. But what did it used to be? This one too, man. I mean, come on. If you grew up on a farm, or if you grew up as a hunter, like I did, I mean, I didn't grow up on my granddaddy's farm, but I mean, I practically did. From the time I was born till I was 10 years old, spent every weekend there, no matter the time of year, spring, summer, fall, winter, if not Saturday and Sunday, one or the other. Been hunting since I was 12. I'm 55 now, so I'm not squeamish, and I've seen a lot of internal organs of, deer, elk, moose, cows, sheep, goats, chickens, turkeys, pigs. It's got a nice little Vivo video here as well, by the way, or Vimeo, sorry. And then this is just, come on, man. It's a rock that looks like a brain. Look at this. Here I am in the box. Good to see you, bud. Thanks for shooting in. And this looks so much like brain tissue to me. Come on, man. This one does too, although obviously it's only, an inch and a quarter across, maybe inch and a half long. But I mean, it doesn't have to all be giants stuff. It could be like some kind of smaller hominoid or some kind of other creature. I don't know. All I'm saying is we're told these are rocks, but they look like brains, man. I mean, this obviously is a photo he's showing to compare. But look at that. Look at this. This is a rock that he's using to prop it up. So it's not an inclusion to this, but the shape. See the seam there again with some of this texture, like a top-down view. This almost could be a lung too. This is sounding gross. That might be a lung. That might be a brain. That looks like a heart. That's definitely a broken femur bone. Like a bunch of sickos here. We are Noah's Fossil Farm versions of Quincy. Quincy. Remember that show Quincy with Jack Klugman? Pancreas. Notice the L shape of these rocks. So there's a pancreas. I mean, again, whether it's a pancreas or not, how does nature form a rock to have this shape? And so many of them of that shape. Like, how does that happen? Well, it just fell off, and then it got worn away by time and wind and water and whatnot. And heat and this and that and the other thing. Lung, yeah. Again, or kidney or something, but it's definitely, well, it's got a lot of holes in it. It's got these pock marks in it. To me, that's some sign of heat or electroplasma discharge that causes heat. Like really quick, really intense heat. Not like a slow frog in the boiling water, in the boiling pot of water type. I'm talking about like that. Like intense heat and intense cold, it seemed to be a thing and it's very sudden. Like what trapped these woolly mammoths with food still in their stomachs and encased them in frozen hillsides? Spleen or liver. Yeah, look at this thing, man. It looks like it has blood vessels. I mean, if this was a hunk of meat, the butcher would be telling you, this is nicely marbled. It's going to be tender and delicious, and it's not going to dry out when you do it in the oven. It's going to stay nice and juicy because it's got some well-marbled fat. Nope, it's just a hunk of rock that looks like a spleen or whatever, or a liver. That's a rock? Looks like some kind of cucumber or gourd, some kind of squash. Nope, that's a rock. It looks almost like a cactus. That's a weird looking rock, man. That is a weird looking rock. I mean, come on, man. Mr. Geologist guy, can you please explain this to me? Well, it's a teardrop-shaped rock, you see. that was encased in a thin layer of another kind of rock, and it broke away. Okay. I mean, it's going to go something like that. But how did it become this shape? How did it get this weird schmutz layer over it? It reminds me of one of those, and I don't think they have them in the States, but it reminds me of those Kinder Surprise eggs. You know what I'm talking about, right? The Kinder Surprise egg. Let me show you. I'm going to pull it up just so that you know what I'm talking about here. Just trying to find the right photo on the goggle machine. Europeans and Canadians will know what I'm talking about with the Kinder egg. But Americans will be like, what in the Sam Steele are you talking about, Frankie? This is a Kinder egg. It's about the size of a Cadbury Easter cream egg, maybe a little bigger, although they come in massive sizes, but it's a little bigger than a Cadbury cream egg. And it's got like a hazelnut, it's got a chocolate on the outside and then a white chocolate, hazelnut chocolate or something on the inside. And then it's got this little plastic thing that you open and it'll have some kind of toy in it. And usually you have to assemble the toy. It comes in like 3 or 5 little pieces or whatnot, and you assemble the toy. Kind of like when you would put a dime in the wind-up machine, it would spit out the thing, and you'd open it, and you'd get the decoder spy ring in it, or a cool keychain or whatever. Sort of on that idea. I think these are not sold in the States because it's a choking hazard. Because apparently American children can't tell the difference between chocolate and plastic. That's what your government thinks of you, my American friends. They think that you and your children do not know the difference between delicious chocolate and harmful plastic. There's this thing again. Come on, man. Crazy. Pectoral fin. Maybe? No. Doesn't let me open that one up. Again, there a lot of these are linked to videos, so I would encourage you to do that. But this is just a very interesting shape down here. It's almost like it's been tooled or machined on one end here. This just looks dirty. So we'll move on before I start acting like a child and giggling. And he's finding a lot of purplish or reddish purple or pinkish rocks too in gravel pits. And he does pose the question, what exactly are gravel pits? Are gravel pits graveyards or, the resting places of remains? And they're proposing here that it's from the biblical flood, from Noah's flood, hence the name Noah's Fossil Farm. So there you go, a sneak peek. Well, not a sneak peek, a pretty good look at least at the photo galleries. Again, there are videos and links and attachments for everything there on the site. Link below here for newwestreset.com. The other 2 links are just those separate photo galleries. But some of the links on the page will take you to Noah's Fossil Farm YouTube videos and Rumble videos and Vimeo videos. So yeah, I would really encourage you to check it out. Very interesting stuff. Crazy looking rocks, stones, boulders. To me, a rock is, baseball or smaller. A stone is larger than that. And then a boulder is like the size of a footstool or bigger. Like one of those big jugs of milk, the big jug of milk, that or bigger would be a boulder. I don't know. We're getting into stupid semantics and splitting hairs here with what's the difference between a rock, a stone, and a boulder. Odin's Raven says, I still have some Kinder toys. Mr. Infinite, I enjoyed them in Germany. Kathy Broughton says, I think Bigfoot are higher on a higher dimension of consciousness. I think Bigfoot maybe can only be seen in certain conditions because they just hover at the very edge of what we see in our visible light spectrum. Do I think that they can like vanish and spawn, like, appear and disappear, basically? I'm not so sure about that. And also the whole Bigfoot being associated with flying saucers. I think that's just more effort to discredit Bigfoot by associating them with some of the shaming speech of, that they use against the tinfoil hat conspiracy theory people, right? Where they say little green men from Mars, when really we're not saying that some of these strange and apparently intelligent entities are from some weirdo planet out in your distant galaxy that you tell us. We're just saying that, yeah, they're on different spectrums, different vibrations, different dimensions, maybe, for lack of a better term. Well, you do have them there. Kathy Broad says, I know what a Kinder Egg is. We have them here. You have them in America now. Huh. There you go. I guess they figured, well, the consumer demand for them, their chocolate Kinder Eggs is mighty powerful, so we better let them have it. Better let them have the thing is that the chocolate's really thin, so your kid isn't even getting overloaded with tons of chocolate. I mean, it's only a few grams of chocolate. It's not even like eating a chocolate bar or a candy bar. It's not like scarfing down a Kit Kat bar or a Three Musketeers bar or a Payday bar or a Baby Ruth bar. But you still get the 2-in-1. You get the toy inside, and that's the big thing, man. That's the big thing. Remember when cereal would come, a box of breakfast cereal would come with a toy in it? Yeah, they don't do that anymore. Back when I was a kid, you would get a toy in the box of cereal, but then on the back of the box, you would get like a connect the dots puzzle or like a little game, like board game, like a snakes and ladders, shoots and ladders type of little game on the back. Or cut it out, and it's a mask of Tony the Tiger from the Frosted Flakes. They're great. Yeah, or like Cracker Jack, man. The caramel popcorn with peanuts. You get the toy in the Cracker Jack. Yeah, there you go. Kimosabi saying I loved Cracker Jack and the prize. They still make Cracker Jack. I don't know if you get a prize in it anymore. Probably not. But yeah, there was a prize in every box. Yeah, that's right. You would stare at the back of the box because they would have some kind of puzzle. Sometimes more than one. They'd have like a connect dots puzzle, and then they'd have like a, how many toucan Sams can you see in this picture of the forest or the jungle? And you're eating on the back of your box of Fruit Loop cereal or whatever. I don't know about that one because when I was a kid, Mama and Daddy would not let us have them junk sugary cereals. Bless them. At the time, when we were kids, come on now, give me that Fruity Pebbles. Give me that Captain Crunch. Nope. You'd get the cornflakes, not the Frosted Flakes. The cornflakes. You get the, we did get the Rice Krispies. You get the Cheerios. We did get the Alphabets, though, which have the little sugary coating, but that's because my dad likes Alphabets. So we got by a technicality on that one. Dad vetoed that one. Dad used his daddy veto power on that one. Nope, we're getting Alphabets because I like them. Alphabets, honeycomb, same thing. Oatmeal, yeah, a lot of, especially in the winter, we'd have oatmeal, but like not that instant crap like today. It was, you had to cook the oatmeal. You know, it was like 20 minutes. We had grape nuts. We don't have those in Canada. Maybe we used to, but we don't have them anymore. No grape nuts up here, at least not out here in Alberta land. Tony the Tiger Frosted Flakes, yeah. See, as soon as I was old enough where I could buy my own cereal from, you know, money I got from mowing lawns in the summer, raking leaves in the fall, and shoveling snow in the winter. You know, I was buying comic books and skateboards and records and cassette tapes, video game cartridges for my Atari video game system. But I would also be like, dang it, I've got the $2.49 to buy me a box of Cap'n Crunch. I'm going to the store and I'm buying it. You know, by the time I was 12 or 13. You want to eat that junk cereal? Then you got to buy it yourself. All right. Then you just get jacked up on that stuff and then you crash hard. But pretty much any breakfast cereal is not good for you anyways. Even the stuff that they don't coat in sugar has got sugar in it. These days, sugar isn't as bad as the other sweeteners like the high fructose corn syrup. Oh, they love that poison. S'mores cereal? Wow. It sounds delicious, but it sounds too much. That's just too much. You know, the Reese's, you know, Reese's peanut butter cups and Reese's Pieces and all that, you know, the Reese's cereal or the Reese's candy. Yeah, we have Reese's cereal up here. Do you guys have that? And the cinnamon toast cereal and the cinnamon bun cereal. We got the two. We got both the cinnamon treats on lock here in a cereal form. We have the cinnamon toast crunch and we have the mini cinnamon bun cereal. We only have the Count Chocula and the Blueberry and the Frankenberry at Halloween time. We don't get it year round. I think it's a special import thing or something. I don't know. Weetabix and shredded wheat. Yeah. Shreddies too. Yeah, that was another one. Yeah, Wheaties. Wheaties in the US, Shreddies in the Commonwealth and former Commonwealth. You're better off having some eggs and bacon for breakfast with some grapefruit or something. Yeah, there you go. That's right. Wiley saying just eat some eggs. Pinkster saying the same thing. Eggs, just eat eggs. Cereal, yeah, if you're in a hurry, it's better than nothing, right? Because you gotta have something. Yeah, cereal, that's the thing, right? Is it's cheap. They made it cheap back then, but cereal isn't cheap now. At least up in Canada land. Here in Calgary, a box of cereal, and not even the super sugary stuff that's marketed towards kids. I'm just talking about regular cereal like Weetabix or shredded wheat or Shreddies or just regular cornflakes. It doesn't even have to be Kellogg's brand. It can be the off-brand generic store brand or whatever. You know, for not the family size or the big jumbo size, but just the regular size box of cereal. We got $5 or $6. $5 or $6. So it's not as cheap as it used to be. But yeah, just have a couple of eggs, a couple of pieces of toast, grapefruit, and some bacon. I know what you're thinking. Frankie, do you mean bacon or Canadian bacon? Just bacon, man. It doesn't matter. Maybe you like sausages. Maybe you like what's that English breakfast there? Bangers and mash or something? I don't know. It's sausages with, I don't know, you could have a rancher's breakfast where you have like fried potato, have yourself some flapjacks, eggs, and sausage with hash browns, flapjacks. Well, yeah, you get hooked on the sugar and all the chemicals and all that stuff, and then you jack up the price, and you're like, well, it used to be $5, but now it's $6. It's only $1. And then the following year, well, it's $7, but it's only $1. Forgetting that it already went up $1 last year. $1 a year if you're lucky, more like $1 every 6 months. Oh yeah, and then you got those cereals that have the mini marshmallows in them. Let's face it, a lot of this cereal is basically buy yourself a box of cookies, buy yourself, a package of biscuits, as they would say across the pond, some sweet cookies, some sweet biscuits, just crumble them up, throw them in a cereal bowl, pour milk on them, and grab your spoon and dig in. Just shovel it right in your eating hole there, bud. Because a lot of breakfast cereals, again, the ones especially marketed towards children, because they know a lot of kids are just going to pester the parents. The parents are finally going to be like, all right, fine. Take the Cocoa Pebbles. Take the Trix cereal. Just be quiet about it already. Steve, 17 in the box. Steve Q, how you doing? Good to see you there, bud. Yeah, so just got to be careful with that stuff. But everything in moderation, like Pinkster said earlier, if you're in a hurry or you're just being lazy, it's going to have yourself a bowl of shreddies. It's fine. It's when you eat 2 or 3 bowls for breakfast every day. And when I was a teenager, man, I didn't know better. I would eat 2 big go F yourself bowls of cereal for breakfast, man. Not just like a regular soup bowl. No, I'm talking like a serving bowl. Like a box of cereal would last 2, maybe 3 days in my house when I was a teenager. It was driving my old man nuts. My pops would be like, will you quit it with this? Like, how many bowls of cereal do you need in the morning, kid? Does your tapeworm have a tapeworm? Oh, yeah, the cinnamon toast. That's classic. It's delicious. Have yourself some pancakes with maple syrup on it. Now you're winning. Pancakes with real maple syrup now. I'm not talking about that sugary table syrup stuff now. Or you could do like the Japanese do and have some steamed rice with a raw egg cracked on top. There you go. Yeah, it's very good for you. You like it very much. You ever traveled to Japan? That's what you're getting for breakfast. And if you don't know what to expect, it is shocking. You're like, what is this? Where's my coffee in Danish at least? Can I at least get me a nice cherry Danish and a cup of coffee? How about a glass of freshly squeezed orange juice? But yeah, cinnamon. Cinnamon is where it's at. Gotta love that cinnamon. Yeah, they put sugar in milk. Did you know that? They put sugar in milk. They put sweetener in toothpaste too. They tell you to brush your teeth to, protect your teeth, but then they put stuff that rots your teeth in the toothpaste that's supposed to prevent the tooth rot. Same thing with the cereal. Make sure your child has a healthy, balanced diet. That whole food triangle thing or whatever the hell that was. And nothing starts your day like the source of a nutritious breakfast of a big bowl of Apple Jacks. Just use baking powder. Just use baking powder. where you do that coconut, what do they call it? That pulling, that oil, coconut oil thing. Alrighty, what are we looking at here? Coming up on 2 hours, getting ready to wind this thing down. I hope you enjoyed the show. The strange rocks, weird rocks, man. Stones or bones. Thank you to our friend Edgar over at Noah's Fossil Farm. Let me know down below if you're watching this after the fact what you thought of the topic, the subject matter at hand, and the weird, strange rocks and stuff. Before I go, I did find some other interesting rock. This is a real thing too, by the way. I triple checked this. This is an actual real thing. The inside of that rock looks like the Cookie Monster. And I ain't kidding you. That does look like, does not look, look, if you grew up in Canada or the United States and you watched Sesame Street, you know. If that doesn't look like the Cookie Monster, I don't know what does. It's a geode. How crazy is that? This was actually on Zeducation, so thanks, Kathy, for that. She sent me a link to Zeducation, and this was a meme that he covered. And like if he said, like, just give me this every day in my feed, stuff like this in my quote unquote news feed online. Yeah, even right here, my kind of news day. Yeah, it says it all right there. Yeah, it's 100% petrified Cookie Monster. Look, if Jim Henson saw that, he'd flip his lid. God bless him. Rest in peace. Look at it. It's Cookie Monster. Amazing. What else have we got here? I think I have a couple of videos real quick before we end the show here. Yeah, we were talking earlier about the Cobra chickens. Imagine if there was giant Cobra chickens. This guy's responding to, I don't know, some American on TikTok or one of them goofy brain melting platforms, social media platforms. But it's a Canadian responding to an American. And he gets, well, there's just a murder turkey right there in the background.
I got one of your quarters. What are you gonna do about it?
Okay, that's a loony, you silly f***. It's worth $1, not a quarter. And while you're here, here's another fun fact about Canada. We've got more lakes in this country than the rest of the entire planet does combined. But even if we only had a single lake in Canada, it would still be a higher number than the amount of functioning brain cells that star-spangled f***wade who couldn't even count to one has. Mind the Cobra chicken here. I'm surprised it hasn't tried to f***ing kill me yet, greasy bastard.
He calls it a greasy bastard. He calls that Cobra chicken, that Canada goose, a greasy bastard. All right. Hey, Kathy down in Kentucky, Kathy brought, and Ross down in Kansas City over Water the Tree channel. Here's we've seen how you've gotten all that snow. Check this out.
Tell me why.
Oh man, what a dog shit joke. It's horrible. Like, shouldn't be funny at all.
It really should.
I'm not gonna lie, that's not bad. I might have to pull that prank myself, I think. If I think I would go, you know what? I'll spend the $3 and I'll go to the local convenience store where the hours and location are convenient, but the price is not so much. I'll get me a a small, I don't know, mountain lemon surprise, some kind of yellow Gatorade, and use that. Because if you're going to go for it, you might as well go for broke and go for total realism. Just saying, might as well use some Gatorade. It's worth the $3, isn't it? I agree. Steve Q in the boxing, those birds are too entitled. They just walk across the street when they can fly. Yeah, they'll stop traffic in the middle of rush hour. They don't really care. They really don't care. It can be Canada's biggest highway, the 401 out there in Toronto, Ontario. If they're walking across that highway, they're walking across. They don't give two Fs if they're fixing to get run over. Anyways, and with that, that is going to seal the deal here for Frankie. New West Reset and New West Reset Live, episode 148. We're looking at stones or bones over at Noah's Fossil Farm right here in Purdy, Alberta. Again, links below for everything we covered, as well as how you can get a hold of a fella. My Reset 1700 documentary, the link is below for that as well. BitChute, email, Rumble, my location map. And if you would like to donate to the channel, certainly not necessary. I got a job, I'm doing all right there, bud. But if you feel generously inclined to do so, it's greatly appreciated. And if you include your address and what size you like, I'll send you a t-shirt or a baseball hat. Thank you very, very much. The best way to support, of course, is just to do all the things. All the things. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for winding down your weekend here with yours truly. And until the next one, take care out there and have yourselves a good one. All right? Cheers. Bye.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma.